Well, as we get near the first day of spring, it is time to put the engine back in our Project 67 here. We showed how we cleaned up the engine compartment, some detail bits, tightening up a few brake lines here and there. And we can see here that we have really finessed this thing in. This exhaust, as we may have mentioned, is welded solid all the way back. Makes for a nice leak-proof system, but obviously we can't really pull parts of the system. And so we basically finagled the engine in here very gently, lowering it extremely slowly, working it in, working the exhaust header around all the various bulky parts of the casting. Right now we're at the point where, if you can see down in here, you can see the CV axle just sitting down there. And the one on this side, right there, that's a better view. So at this point with the engine, 6 or 8 inches above where it's going to sit, we actually have room to angle the axles upward and sneak them into the differential outputs right down there. So that way we start them into their splines, and then as we lower the engine gently, there's nowhere for them to go but to go the rest of the way in the spline and pop into place. And usually it's a pretty straightforward task unless you have some bent up splines or one of those little circlips is being stubborn. But this is kind of an interesting view to show the engine's really just hanging here, barely touching the car anywhere, maybe incrementally on the header. And at this point we can have a quick look around and see we're obviously going to install the radiator afterwards here because of the difficulty we encountered pulling this out with the fixed header. You can see we've worked the dog bone off to the side there so it doesn't interfere with the clutch arm. We managed to sneak the engine down gently without putting any force on this precariously positioned brake booster. And I'm going to go ahead and crawl under the car, line the axles up, and we'll see if we can't set this thing in place and get rid of our trusty engine stand here, get it out of the way, and finish assembling this car. Hopefully a test drive coming up here in the next few days. Maybe by the first day of spring, which I think might be, what is it, Friday? Maybe Saturday. Alright. Some two cousins hanging out in the garage on a lovely day. We'll get back to this one shortly.